The players have just come out onto the pitch at the training headquarters. Final training session, of course, before Saturday's game. A game that kicks off at 1 p.m. in the Santiago Bernabeu, the first lunchtime kickoff for the Whites this season. And for that reason, Julian Lopetegui has been tweaking a little bit the times of the training sessions this week. They've got a little bit later, and at the moment at exactly 12:19 p.m. we're just almost literally 24 hours before kick-off. The players have just come out to train, and a sensible ploy from Lopetegui, really, to get the players to be training at exactly the time of the kick-off. Players' bodies, of course, adjust to different kick-off times throughout the season, but perhaps 1 p.m, the new lunchtime slot in the last few seasons in La Liga, is the strangest one of all for these players who are probably more used to playing from 4 p.m. onwards, of course, and late-night games in the Champions League. So just a small detail, but interesting to note that Real Madrid normally train at 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's just this week they've been getting later and later. And all players now back from, of course, the international break. It's 2 weeks since the last game. Real Madrid going into the game with Levante, looking to pick up another 3 points in the Santiago Bernabeu, where they've been very strong this season. They've played 5 games, won 4, and have only conceded 1 goal in a 4-1 victory over Getafe. So 2 games coming up this week in the Bernabeu. Levante on Saturday. There is a smiling Gareth Bale, which is good to see. And Victoria Pilsen on Tuesday in the Champions League. Gareth Bale was discussed in Julian Lopetegui's earlier than usual press conference ahead of Saturday's game. He's actually done things in reverse. Press conference first and then the training after. So we gave you the press conference on Real Madrid TV a little bit earlier, where Lopetegui was questioned about his squad and about who's fit, and there is Julian Lopetegui, and he just said that, well, confirmed the news that everyone is available apart from Dani Carvajal, and they will be looking closely within this training session this morning at how all the players are going. Of course, players are coming back from illness and injury. Isco's back from appendicitis. Marcelo's been injured. Karim Benzema has been injured. And Gareth Bale, of course, has been injured as well. There is Karim Benzema in the centre of your screens. But Julian Lopetegui this morning confirming that all players are fit and available, apart from Dani Carvajal, who suffered an injury against Atletico Madrid in the only game that Real Madrid have failed to win in the Santiago Bernabeu this season, the 0-0 draw in the derby 3 weeks ago now since that game. So Madrid go into a game against a Levante side who was sat in 11th position with 10 points, have won the last 2 games, and Julian Lopetegui spoke this morning about how he is just focused on this game, on Levante, about not talking about future games coming up. Real Madrid, of course, have Champions League coming up next Tuesday, and then a big derby game, if you like, a derby. It's called a derby in Spain, away to Barcelona on Sunday, the 28th of October, before then entering into a new competition, the Spanish Cup, which is being drawn around about now. If we do have any news in the next few minutes, we'll bring that to you. Real Madrid could play a number of sides from lower levels in Spain: San Andreu, Ebro, Villanovense, Melilla, Racing Santander, or Cultural Leonesa. All teams from Spanish football's 3rd tier. That will be drawn in the next few minutes, and that is the game after Barcelona. But at the moment, all focus is on this Levante fixture. And Real Madrid and all teams really with chances at the top of La Liga. Plenty of teams have chances of going top this weekend, because the top 6 of La Liga are separated by just 2 points. Sevilla top with 16, Barcelona 15, Atletico Madrid 15, Real Madrid 14. The top 4. So a home victory in the first game on Saturday would really pile pressure on the rest of the teams. For Real Madrid, and Julian Lopetegui knows that it's the most important thing at the moment. 3 points, and to get back amongst the goals as well would be ideal for Real Madrid in the build-up for that Champions League game on Tuesday against Victoria Pilsen. Well, Julian Lopetegui was also questioned there about 2 players in your picture, Casemiro and Toni Kroos, this morning. He said it's obvious that Casemiro is not Toni Kroos and Toni Kroos is not Casemiro. Very straightforward reply to a question. The questions coming thick and fast from the journalists, and Julian Lopetegui batting them off this morning, saying that his only real interest is Saturday, 1 p.m. in the Santiago Bernabeu against Levante. It's going to be the 400th league appearance, if selected, of course, of Sergio Ramos, the Real Madrid captain. You would imagine that he is in the starting 11, although players who have played in international games in the last 10 days, of course, could be given rests. But if Sergio Ramos does play, it's his 400th league appearance, or would be his 400th league appearance for Real Madrid. And the players seem to be in good spirits out there on a wet Friday morning in the Spanish capital, as they go through the rondas. The traditional warm-up for most Spanish sides for training, of course. Piggy in the middle, if you like. Keylor Navas will be over to the other side off the training pitch with the other goalkeepers, ready to go through his paces. Things have changed a little bit this season under Julian Lopetegui. It's just interesting, as I said before, there is Kiko Casilla, and fourth keeper Zidane as well, out there as well. Just missing Thibaut Courtois, who I'm sure is there also. Well, it is interesting that Real Madrid just training this hour and a little bit later than normal, just to try and get them in gear for Saturday's 1 p.m. kickoff against Levante. Keylor Navas just seems to be waiting for the action to begin. And over on the other side of the pitch, while they continue there, Nacho in your picture, having a good start to the season. Also there, the new signing, for Real Madrid, the fullback Alvaro Odriozola. He's perhaps the best player in the last game for Real Madrid, from the right-hand side, getting forward, loves to get forward and attack. I'm sure if given the chance to again take the place of Dani Carvajal, he'll be trying to do that in the Santiago Bernabeu on Saturday. He's having a good start to his Real Madrid career. The players continue to go through the warm-up. Some stretches. And it should be a fairly light session this morning with, as we say, the game just almost literally 24 hours from this moment. Julian Lopetegui also mentioned, he's asked about this as well, he mentioned that the players would not be forced to stay overnight in Real Madrid accommodation this evening. They go back to their homes, spend the afternoon and evening with their families, and they'll congregate again early on Saturday morning ahead of that game. There should be a good crowd in the Santiago Bernabeu for the visit of Levante, the side who are punching above their weight. Regulars now in the top flight, but still the team from Valencia very small club in La Liga's top division. They have gone down, come back up on a couple of occasions in recent years. Really, for them, it's all about avoiding a relegation dogfight. They're doing fairly well at that at the moment. They've got 10 points so far from their first 8 games. And they'll come to the Santiago Bernabeu looking to cause problems for this Real Madrid side. Julen Lopetegui this morning described them as very compact, good attacking side with some good players. And he's certainly been keeping an eye on what their starting 11 could be. And a little bit hijinks there on the pitch. Lucas Vázquez there as the players move over. Should start some exercises now. Sergio Ramos looking in good form after his work with the Spanish national squad in the international break. As the players prepare to go and run up to the other side there of the training pitch, working out with one thing in focus. That's Saturday's game against Levante. Chance for Real Madrid to go to the top of La Liga table early on Saturday. Other games this weekend include Valencia at home to Leganés and Atletico Madrid away to Villarreal, before perhaps the biggest game of the weekend, Saturday, Barcelona at Sevilla. First against second, so points will be dropped there, of course, and that can only help Real Madrid's cause at the top. But if Real Madrid did win and put themselves on 17 points, then, well, a draw between Sevilla and Barcelona would really make it tight at the top. Atletico Madrid with a difficult away game at Villarreal. So an exciting day of La Liga football tomorrow. It starts tonight with Celta Alaves on Friday evening, and on Sunday the rest of the fixtures: Rayo Vallecano against Getafe in a Madrid derby, Eibar against Athletic Bilbao in a Basque derby, Huesca Espanyol, Betis, who are doing well so far this season, in 8th position on 12 points at home to Valladolid. And that is finished up match day 9 on Monday with Real Sociedad at home to Girona. So things are all set here. Julen Lopetegui going into a big week of football with every player available apart from Dani Carvajal. And the week starts tomorrow at home to Levante, followed by Tuesday at home again to Victoria Pilsen. 2 home games, always good for teams to save a little bit on the travelling, of course. Keep the players fresh and stopping at home before next Sunday, the trip away to Barcelona. El Clásico, the biggest game in Spanish football, in world football perhaps as well. That will take place on the 28th of October, the final game of this month for Julen Lopetegui away to Barcelona. That's a 4:15 p.m. kickoff a week on Sunday. And the focus before that is on 2 victories that would keep the team on good road in both La Liga and in the Champions League against Levante and against Victoria Pilsen on Tuesday. You can follow all the build-up to those games and analysis off after the games on Real Madrid TV, of course. But for now, we're leaving the live pictures here of Real Madrid training ahead of Saturday's game. For now, it's adios from me.